This is Andi Purewal for Boxing Social in association with Betfred, and for the first time in person I'm delighted to be joined by Mikaela Mayer here in Las Vegas. Mikaela, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Before we come on to yourself, obviously the reason we're here, Terence Crawford, somebody you know well, will be facing Shawn Porter come Saturday night or tomorrow night now. Talk to me about Terence, talk about his camp. How prepared and motivated is he for what many deem to be his toughest test at welterweight so far?
Yeah, I've been in camp with Terence Crawford in Colorado Springs. We both do our camps there, both live there. So I've seen firsthand not only what he does in camp, but that whole team is one of the best teams in boxing, period. It's really rare that you get 5 coaches that all come together, can work well, don't have an ego, and are really there to better their athlete and get the most out of him. And he just has a great team, and he works extremely hard. Even this camp, he was always adding extra things to the workout. So I know that he really respects Porter in that sense. But this is a boxer versus brawler fight, and I gotta go with the boxer.
People will naturally, if Terence is successful, that is, people will make comparisons between Terence's win compared to the past champions who have defeated Shawn. How important is it for Terence to make a statement against Shawn, to maybe, if not win, not just win maybe by wide decision, but to look for the stoppage, which I've seen a few people suggest could be a possibility down the stretch?
It is a possibility because Crawford has one of the best knockout rates and finishing rates in boxing. He knows how to do that, and it's not because he throws a ton of punches. He really doesn't. He starts a little slow, doesn't have a huge punch count like Porter does, but he's selective. He knows what shots to throw. His timing's really, really good, and he knows when to place them. And so his accuracy is just, I think, above Shawn's, and he's going to catch him making a mistake and get him coming in.
So you expect him to stop Shawn Porter tomorrow night?
I want to make a strong prediction for this fight, and it's not going to be easy. This is going to be a fight. It's going to be really exciting, but I think Crawford has the ability to stop Porter and do what no other welterweight has done. So I predict a late stoppage, and if he does, Terence Crawford can sort of shut everyone up who says that he's not pound for pound, or he's not the best, or he hasn't proven himself. And so I think he has to win in a really good fashion to kind of make that statement.
Mikaela, coming on to yourself, just take me back a couple of weeks, your victory against Mikaela Hamadouche. Time to reflect. What would you make of your performance now?
That was an amazing night for me because I knew that I had that in me. I know I've always said that I'm a really well-rounded fighter, but not every opponent is going to bring everything out of you, right? There's certain things that you focus on when you go up against an opponent, and certain strategy, and this fight got to show the world that I can do both. I can do everything in the ring, a little bit of everything, and I'm well-rounded and I'm dangerous, and I think I made a big statement, and it was not only that, but people were really excited about the fight and they enjoyed it, and that's really important for me, for people to enjoy not just women's boxing, but my performances, and they were, so.
You said people are excited, you said you made a statement. What next? Because when we spoke over Zoom, we mentioned kind of all of the champions coming together to unify. Back then, Terry Harper held the titles. Obviously, she recently lost to Alycia Baumgardner. So just to touch on that firstly, what did you make of Alicia's win versus Terry?
First of all, this is just awesome because this is the most exciting division right now in not just women's boxing, but in boxing. It's really exciting. And Baumgardner did her thing. She took it away from Harper. I had never thought that Harper had the experience to defend her belt and become undisputed and reigning champion. I thought that if she boxed well enough that she could outbox Baumgardner, but she didn't. She just reminded us that she really isn't in the position to be in the mix with us, and so. But it doesn't change my game plan. I want to be undisputed champion, and so I want Baumgardner and I want Choi, and I don't want to wait around for it, and I don't want them to sit there. I don't want Baumgardner to sit with her belt and have tea and watch the sunset and enjoy being champion, because that shouldn't be enough for her. She should want to unify. She should want to go undisputed, and there's no time to, what's the point in waiting? Let's do it.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure I saw a tweet from yourself saying you've previously offered her that fight, Alycia that is, before she was a champion, and she turned it down. Can you tell me as to why that was?
Yeah, if for anyone who says that I don't want to fight Alycia Baumgardner, we have offered her that fight 2 times. One was in the bubble. She said yes, and then she pulled out and said no. And that's when I fought Helen Joseph. And I fought the African girl Helen Joseph in the bubble, and then we offered it to her again before the last fight against Farias. and she said okay, and then we turned it over to the Nevada State Athletic Commission. They looked at her box tag, looked at her resume, and said she doesn't have the quality enough opponents for us to confirm her as an opponent, and so they said no. Hey, well, we tried to get the fight. She's champion now. She earned her spot. Good for her. She's finally fought some quality, so now she has to continue that, and it's not going to be easy.
Do you expect a fight to be made between the pair of you? I've seen some quotes from her saying that she can imagine you ending up on the floor if the pair of you were to fight.
Well, she's a little bit, her head's a little big right now because she's coming off a win, so I'll let her do that. But it's funny because I tweeted, I said, now back to one of my favorite games is what's Eddie going to do next? He signed the girls in the division and they're falling off. And I expect him to kind of make an offer to Baumgardner and get him on his team. I know he wants to keep those belts in his stable, but we'll see. I want to fight Baumgardner or Choi next. I don't want to take a fight in between where there's no more belts on the line. Like, I've made that pretty clear. So we'll see, but we'll do what we got to do.
Well, I want to find a thing for you because I believe the weigh-in is about to start. Just a message to Alycia, an all-American title bout between the pair of you. I imagine just how big that could be. So if you've got anything directly you'd like to say to her?
Yeah, make sure you tell, if you really want the fight and you want to be considered the best, then you go and push whoever your promoter is, whoever's making these fights for you, and you ask for Mikaela Mayer, because I've been seeing people ask you who you want next, and you have not said my name. So let's hear it.
Mikaela, it's a pleasure to catch up with you. Enjoy the rest of your day, and obviously good luck to yourself and the team tomorrow night. Thanks for speaking to Boxing Social.
Thank you, appreciate it.